since the first series of kickoff
Right,
against
we get
BBL,
no
when
raid
they were
bosses.
playing with a meta comp, you know, up against
No extra
something
money.
a lot more
Giants on
developed.
defense,
It feels
Navi
like they've
on
done
attack.
some soul searching.
Giants one away.
Come back with a completely revitalized look.
I like this. Has a different map that we haven't
Recon
seen
into the corner,
before.
you clearing on, pushing up. It's pretty nice.
Can't quite get rid of the drone as there's plenty of
The
information
drone takes a long
found
way
from it.
around, so they clear all of this. I mean, this is nice default at the moment from Navi. Got a lot of info everywhere. Just to send the decoy in and broke the recon that was trying to get info
The spike
here.
is here, and so a slight sign of intent.
They're like
as
creating
Navi are
pressure
starting
on
to
A and B
commit
at the same
some
time.
utility towards
This is
the
kind
A
of
side of the
nice.
map, burning the
Well, is
wick
it
at
kind of
both
nice? Because
ends.
they showed 2 and 2.
As Cloud is continuing to relay back to the rest of his team that could be here, there, or anywhere.
I'm
as
watching
Koala goes
Giants not
diving
know
in.
what to do a little bit.
I mean, nice trade out from Navi all in, but fight was not pretty whatsoever. A little bit of peace, but I mean,
Nice
at the same time, Cloud's been able to survive at the back of sight, and there's players coming in to hit support.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 players are so far away,
They're
though.
just funneling bullets back
Except
into
for
the
the Giants
magazine as he
reacted
drops off just a
pretty
little bit
well.
more. Solo here with the spike could be in a
Ooh,
difficult
that's nuts,
situation,
bro.
but he does brilliantly.
They still
An
got raid
admirable
boss in terms of
effort
West Side, though.
makes
This
it a
guy's a
2-on-2
monster.
yet again, and with Tamazi arriving late, so are Navi. There's only 25 seconds left.
Yeah, Tamazi has
I mean,
a
it's been
supportive
real
flash as
stall
well.
out.
Can definitely
That
flash
being
through
said,
him.
Tamazi
Flash
still
through
has
this.
a blind side to play on West
Lovely.
Side.
It's a brilliant setup. Westside only able
Yeah,
to
Flash
get
maybe
one.
just didn't go
Roxic
far enough
does
to get
chipped
Roxic, I
down,
feel
but
like,
now
unless he was
Tamazi in
playing
the
anti, but it looked
one-on-one.
like he was out in it.
Reposition Roxic into the corner next to the map. Tamazi has to be so diligent to clear this, and he's not
Ooh,
looking
nice,
on the
dude.
right
It's a
line.
nice shot.
Roxic to confirm.
Nice shot.
Navi win another opening pistol round. They're second in this series.
Hello,
Big stuff,
Panties.
big stuff indeed.
Game 2.
Yeah, you
Game 2,
can't
map 2.
complain with that. Get the map started off right. But this full round for me is just such a weird one. It comes down to individuals, but Navi kind of like shows some presence towards the A side. But I mean, they're
Pretty
so
much done
like,
as well now,
delayed
yeah, it's
and so slow
kinda
with
fast
how
today.
they get out on towards B. I mean, something else that we've not noted is the fact that like the Killjoy's in play as well for Hero.
Okay, double stinger.
It's not one that we see
Rifle,
from him
rifle.
all too often. As Runner is able to get an orb at the
Honestly,
very least.
I like
while
that
he's
from
stunned on the
Giants
way
on
back
this,
out.
just-
Navi have made
They
concessions.
know the Uto's good enough
A
and
main
they
to
can't
kick things off,
disrespect it. They can just take this orb and get out of
Agent
there.
discussion as well. This is also a map where Tamasi is on the Yoru. As much as I said, you know, he was great on the Neon. For those who remember his breakout year on the fully
Ooh,
Portuguese
Navi
Soul
might be
side,
right
became
on this,
top
though.
3 at
Salvo,
Ascension.
salvo,
That was
smoke,
Neon, that was
smoke, and then
Phoenix.
they
They were
wait for a
fringe
reaction
picks.
in terms of the
Now
person
Yoru's come
dodging
into
it.
the meta.
Can you
Is
really
that something that he
not
feels
dodge that and just
comfortable
go
playing
into the
into?
open?
Spike going down, it's 4 from GX to come back in on. Again, remember, Navi has a... they've been anti-ecoed a few times, but with Angel getting the first
Yeah,
pick...
he gets all of
you'd
the
think,
kills.
Navi are in the prime spot.
Looking like it.
Time look at him
racking
go,
up
bro.
bodies.
Angel gets
As the
4,
flag
gets his
bearer
all
for the
for the
team
big buy
has found
rounds.
4 kills and
Real
an in-zone
nice.
flawless. Navi with a comfortable second round.
You can see that they've obviously thought about that Apex game and made improvements since then, not allowing for individual fights, etc. to be going on. As you can see, the rest of the team in the replay supporting Angel in his endeavours.
And we saw how important it was, GX picking up the bonus in the second half of the previous game.
Yeah, just
And
keep an
even
eye on the
Navi,
server ult for
doing it
sure.
At the beginning of Fracture.
Even
as
damage would be
well.
good hit for Navi, but
It's
obviously with the
so
ult you can probably win
For
this.
them to build up some momentum, because you saw how quickly it was lost.
Okay,
wanna get too far ahead of
Giants
yourselves just
love
yet.
A main
GX
control
take
the
a
whole
game in
time.
for themselves and depositing their duelist of
This
Tamazi.
is looking kind of nice from Navi. Late drone.
Space, well, Navi explore through mid.
Oh, but Koala is the one on the prowl. 2 kills to
Okay.
open up the site, and while Tamazi still hangs back in A main.
Meant to be their first buy rounds, but
It's
my
a
duelist is
GX
taking
side
solo
which
duels
trails,
over
and
towards
as he
A and winning them
TPs
both.
out, almost all advantage is lost.
I mean, that's the concession that you were willing to make, right?
It was
GX,
weird. They smoked themselves
lose
off.
one,
They then
two
drone
max
through the
bodies,
smoke,
you
and at the
hold on
same
to
time
A-main,
he's
but at the
droning
same time,
through. The duelist just
as
takes
they
and
let go of
swings on
that,
sight.
Navi have full control of the B side as well, of lane, of B main. GX nowhere near it.
And then they drone
Looks
like
a good
this, right?
A good chance to convert the bonus.
Yeah, I'm going to hold you on that one for just a moment, though, Cairo, because as quickly as it looked like they wanted to go towards B, the Thorns
Oh, hold up.
Gets sent out by Westside, and now they're looking towards A. We've got 30 seconds left. It's another late Na'Vi execute. Hunter's Fury coming in to clear backside with the salvos. Westside with a side step, managing to survive a little bit longer. Can't quite lock onto another target as Koala Noob has already found his third. And so any fears of this round going against Na'Vi would have been settled if it wasn't for Tamasi on the site.
Still has one TP to work with, right? But still, it's 3 players he needs to try and find.
It's a cautionary placement of it as well, so if that doesn't say enough about his intent right now, I don't know what does. Already spotted out by Na'Vi, caught in the midst of multiple
There's no way he wins this.
on a tear. Third kill. Well, it's going to be the stun instead, the Nova Pulse that drops, Nano Swarm beyond it. Tamasi's out of options. As good as some of these shots look from him, no way. You can't build the performance off the back of just one player. This one is already done. He's found 4 kills, but the round will ultimately evade him. Na'Vi get the bonus. It's costly, but they won't care.
Yeah, deep in your soul, you're thinking, surely not, right? Tamasi, mate, we're not going to get another one of these rounds.
Way more than I thought he was going to do.
I'm happy about this. We'll
dude, look at this, though.
On from
what
was a poor
start
over
towards Sang, got
good
double.
Start on Peril right now. I mean, as well as that, Na'Vi have looked well in their entries in this map, something which GX notoriously have been bad at.
If I didn't get wallbang there, I killed him.
Thanks for that.
Thanks for that, mate.
If I wasn't dead, it would have been me doing the killing.
And if my gran had wheels, she'd be a bite. You know what I mean? So
definitely.
Okay, I'll lure up for Koala Noob. We can definitely farm on this one. Giants been doing a lot of aggro over towards A this time, mixing up with a 4-person push over towards middle. Smoke deep.
Early clear with 4 players. Up the guts, and Tamasi does TP back. Again, it's a very regressive wall that we're seeing here from GX, the standard one placed by Westside.
Yeah, nice though.
With the current patch in play already, you saw in the previous series, we did see BBL getting more value out of the straight line of the wall.
How?
It's a big 1 versus 1. Angel trying to hold on, but the crosshair was well above Tamasi's head. Nice
and it only triggered when it got shot.
With the alarm bot as he tried to get aggressive.
That can't be right.
Na'Vi have this full right side of the map
that is not right. He for sure breaks that before.
Yet again, because as much as we said that GX had struggled in retakes previously, they have made improvements from week to week. You saw them win more against Heretics than they had done in the previous couple of series. But here you are short-handed for weaponry. Couple of pistols, quick flood coming in, 2 kills, clapped back by Na'Vi,
nice
and a
for
third
Angel, man. He's on his way to
to
another ult.
Certain that they can convert
Still
on this
weird over
advantage
towards B though,
and continue to move forwards without GX having a mark on the record.
I mean, as well as that, though, you've got to be thinking of the first bloods that Na'Vi are continuously getting in these past couple of rounds. I mean, this one is a 1 versus 1 with Tamasi against Angel.
I don't know about that one.
Here. And from there,
that's
it's
for
just
sure
being able
messed
to
up.
snowball that into a round win.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Nice.
I think when you look at the statistics as well for this, in terms of how GX
solid
have been
replay
giving
on
away
that.
a lot of first bloods,
maybe right, go look into that
also
one.
finding themselves in a similar position, but when they get to 5v4s, that conversion is, you know, aided a whole lot more by the fundamental play that they have. And into the next rifle round, it's back to A main they go.
Big
Jules taken and traded as runner on the fadeaway gets nothing but damage.
I mean, he did a good amount of damage though.
Just leaving Angel to use the drone towards the A side, something, see if they can find or at least fake presence, right, as the players go elsewhere.
I'm 100% sure about that
GX
drone.
are already pulling across the Astra. They've lost full control of the middle of the map.
That's where the stealth drone could have bought some extra value as runner chose to invest it towards Art. The steps of it heard by Na'Vi is now they look to knock on that door yet again, and well, there's nobody home. It's Angel to solo clear out main. Well, GX will have bodies on the line once more. They have struggled so far. Every single shot from Na'Vi hit in the back of the net. That has to change. And Runner has started it off with positive signs.
Yeah, Armageddon online as well, something to come back in
Yeah,
on.
did it stop
and
the
on
plant?
top of that, you look at GX, they're playing more reserved. They want to play for this retake.
Should have salvos for the corner as well. That gets placed towards Angel,
Okay,
and he's on a plate.
it's not as bad.
Cloud
I was thinking that I was like, I'm not the biggest fan of this ult, but once I see the salvos, makes a lot of sense. Now they can only go towards the ult. They don't really have to worry about aiming too much.
Hero in yet another clutch. First kill isolated. How many more can he be given? The Nano will delay for a little bit longer, at least pull a player off of the spike for now. As the belt goes empty, he needs results. The spam through the corner of the new stand isn't bearing him any good news whatsoever. It is favored, but Hero, mid-reload, manages to snatch back yet another. And while the spike is hard,
bro, what this position in 1v3s, man. Holy hell, Hero's done it again. 2 times 1v3s.
Again, a Red Bull clutch as well has a... but... GX, it's so frustrating to watch because you're like, they're doing good stuff. The Armageddon, the way they go in, the salvos to clear like the corner towards the other position. But how do you lose a 3 versus 1 to Hero? For a team that like looks like who are doing the right thing, it's the finer details and closing out these rounds that seem to consistently be a problem.
Dude, that shock.
Plagued by issues within the team, GX. And just when it looked like they'd gotten over the worst of the illness, Na'Vi come right back, and of all maps to do it, their opponent's pick. Have to consider it was 4 or 5 round lead, which they blundered on Fracture to end with a 6-6
it looks like they might heavy rotate over towards B. Especially as the drone didn't get shot, triggered the alarm bot. You're probably going to be shooting that with the alarm bot there.
As they've brought themselves up to 3
She's their own drone as well to scout that no one was following up this drone. But then it becomes a, I want to say, a relatively easy call for Na'Vi, that he's going to get the B players to fake and he's going to walk over towards A, because at the moment he kind of thinks there's 4 here, really, with what went on.
Biggest issue for me right now is that Na'Vi don't have too much deep control. I mean, you look at the spike in terms of its position, currently in the middle of the map, it's got to go somewhere, and that looks to be A right now. TP comes over from Koala.
Okay, Runner has salvos.
The dimensional drift.
If Cloud can get the rotate on, he has all if they want to stop, because the time is going to be really low when they tap the spike.
It won't be the case this time. It's only Tamazi. He will fall, and so Na'Vi have some comfort.
Salvo's going early, top of the spike.
And it's only going to get better.
It's too late. Oh, I got another, the weird point where they used ult and they can't win the rounds.
An equal round, especially when you've lost the first 2 picks.
You can kind of see it coming a mile off.
It's a potential counter to the lockdown gone. Not going to see it in this round, that's for certain. Cloud does have an answer, as does Roxic. Just one revealed in the open, and Na'Vi starting to show signs of GX on the previous. It's all a little isolated, and that's where Westside thrives. First tap coming in from Cloud. Signature util, it's the salvos and the recon to just try and remove players from position. Shao considering investment of the ult to try and win this one for his team. He is going to have it secured in the end, but so costly for Na'Vi.
I mean, Giants, well, will they take it? They had to use the Sovo, I guess. At least they got the salvos, sorry, the tail at the end.
The fact that you let it get to that position is just so undisciplined, right? And I think that's the big word here, because that's a big ultimate that should be used for the next one, right?
The only reason this round was close in my mind, they just missed so many shots.
It was good that they were able to do as much damage and get the Armageddon out.
I agree, and something else as well is in terms of the macro reads, it's not been terrible.
Okay, can Giants get on the boards? We've got Op,
those players get in
we've got 3 really good ults, especially when we're thinking of retaken.
I mean,
we can see Sova's just here to get info, they're going to be retake on this one. Recon goes deep. I like that kind of recons. At the moment, they're using like Sova drones a lot to see if there's people following up these drones.
For his ult, it comes around the back of sight. He's looking towards elbow, spots the first player. Here's the combo. That's the value of the Hunter's Fury. Dropped
tanking all of his
util. This is so messy on the site. Neither team can find an advantage.
They didn't take any space.
And the best part about it is, NAVI haven't taken the city. So GX have come back in for the retake and found no one. NAVI are on long.
Well, we're back to square one, and let's just take stock of the utility really quickly. Purpo doesn't have a single star.
Why did
Tomasi
they?
does have a kill and
Why
now
did they not go on site?
Runners an empty belt. West side util.
The Yoru
over on
The cleared all of it.
NAVI do have this lockdown.
There was an
and
ult
Cosmic
going
Divide
like
to
this.
throw at the full
They
buy
know
if
there's
needed.
no one on site.
It's a stressful situation, and we're into crunch time once more. 30 seconds left, and you've got to
Visor,
go
yeah, but the
now.
Visor was
I've
too
seen
late.
this before.
Oh, here we
NAVI
go.
have
Do you want me to do the
struggled
stats
with
again?
crunch time.
I'll do them.
Behold, Cosmic Divide's being used, but Hero's the one
God, they're
that
pushing
comes
through
out
it, though.
on top. Sure, there's one back, but remember, Tomasi's in his ultimate.
Why, they Giants, why are you
Realistically
pushing
comes
through
down
it? You've
to
been gifted
1
so
versus
much
2
space.
With the Euro that has to
Oh,
work on his
God,
operator.
man.
It's just not working out.
Well,
I don't even want
there's
to
the
try
10% win
and
for
talk
that
about
wall,
that round,
and it's
'cause
just because they've done their
what
own
was the
wall,
investment, man?
and they wanted to try
There was
fight
an absolute
before
tug
it.
of war round of Valorant. I've heard it been said before, but do not.
But why
show
do they not just
Caedrel
like
this round.
accept it?
Whatever you do.
Did they do it? Who did their wall
No,
fast?
me too. A hero thriving in the chaos.
I would have to watch
I
it
think
back.
that's one
There's
thing
no
we
way
can
this is their
credit
reaction
NAVI
to that
for.
wall.
Nice! Nice!
When the going
guys,
gets
nice.
tough,
The
they
defense
do
walled
respond.
fast.
Frustration from Angel. That's met with further elation.
Navi's ult was
Once the round
fast. Oh, okay.
concludes,
Well then,
but down to the
I
wire
don't know.
again, and so
I
this
don't know what
finally a
Giants are
timeout
doing,
from
man.
GX. I was expecting this a bit
it's a
sooner.
rough one.
Yeah, but
It feels like they're doing things good at the same
are,
time. Like they are setting up well.
they are. But it's just that the run around since the ultimates that have come online. That,
Wait
that,
for the
like,
plant, drop the
bamboozles
wall,
me,
and
right?
then
Like,
ult.
and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
from both teams. The Hunter's Fury, like
How
that
you
was
wanna
used
be
on
doing
the
it.
eco rather than using like a steel garden to bring it down to a level playing field, and then like whatever the spam that NAVI just threw at the last round.
Pipson getting so animated.
Yeah,
He
he's
finally
angry.
cools down a little bit. I think when you look at what they've brought to us here as well, which is a much more on-brand composition in terms of current meta read, something which we thought
The
that
attack
perhaps
ulted
GX had
fast, and
struggled
then
with
the
a little
defense
bit.
ulted
Finally,
3 seconds after.
we're starting to see a
That
little more compromise perhaps in
lunatic
terms of his original
call to
vision
do
for
that.
this team. And
So this goes
meeting
in
that
1,
balancing act of
2,
the role
3.
changes as
Yeah,
well.
you can cancel, dude.
As GX go back to the main control, I'll extend the conversation further. And you're talking about Pipson being a guy who spent 3 years with the team, both as a player and as a coach since 2021, with the exception of his stint on G2. He knows what it's like to see through multiple metas, and now arriving at this one, it's a more proactive round with pistols.
Yeah, but the players who are being proactive might be late to the party, although we know NAVI like to take home on B-Long and take their time getting into the site.
The difference is this time, they don't have any player presence outside of A, so it is all one-way traffic for GX in that regard.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, the players are going to hit contact of the turret, so maybe
turret
NAVI
goes, but
can
they have
stall
no
out,
idea. You
take
had
their
one
time
person
getting
firing
in
some
towards the B
shots.
site.
And actually, to
Might
go
have been
back and
both.
say, why did GX not call the timeout? Because they found themselves in multiple situations like this. 9 out of the 10 players in the server currently set up on B. The first of which to jump the gap would be Koala, but he's going to fall. GX starting to go through the gears. Westside collecting another kill with his Sheriff as
No
he
way,
lands the
Jones.
shot, but it's a 2-on-2, and it's job not done
There's
yet.
no way he's gonna
NAVI
save the
nailing
drone
yet
here.
another. Hero, the one who holds the hammer. It hits the anvil yet again, as expected. Purpo's chance to shift things in their favor. Hero
Dude, he can
within
tank
striking
one body
distance,
shot.
as you say. But Purpo not yet given the chance, and now you have to deny the ult.
Have to go and try and fight it. Has of the turret for contact, and Hero knows this. A 1v1, which
Okay,
Purple will be able to win out.
They're on the board.
Finally,
Crazy
GX
round to
get
win
the
as well.
first
Navi
round,
getting
and it's
no way
actually
out,
after a
and they just
timeout.
force
Yeah.
through the
We
site.
saw the exact
Not sure
same
they
thing
should
on the
have won this
previous
one,
map
but they
of
do.
Fracture, except the scoreline was
I mean, honestly, I'm not
5-1
sure
at
anyone
that
deserved to
time.
win this
Now
round
it's
with what's
7-1
going on,
in favour
really.
of Navi.
Navi really
As
forced
soon
through
as
this the whole
Heisei
time.
Card Thrifty round comes in for GX, you're expecting further results from them, because this one didn't feel, all too repeatable, I want to say, in terms of the individuals, perhaps. But once again, the macro
Yeah, if they lose
does
this,
look
they're
pretty
so
solid.
done in this half.
Just to note,
They are
Tomasi
so,
has brought
so
out
done.
the operator once again. looking to play through this.
Sure,
Didn't see a
he would
lot
have
of value
3K,
from
we'll let him
last
have it.
time, so we're really hoping that he can get onto these long angles, get to
I mean, it is a big
so that
round.
GX can almost use him
Na'Vi would
as
have
a
to get
source of
3
information to act upon.
hero guns, that'd be it. So it is a swing round.
Walanoob without
Drone
his
for drone,
operator.
pressure's heavy. Drone
said
again
before,
to see if the drone is getting followed by
Usually
numbers.
getting diffed most of the time when the
Okay, do
opposition
they
has it
react
in their
well?
hands,
Do they
but you
just
look at the position
push the
from
one?
Tamazi, all of this is just set up
No.
for that
I mean, they had a
over-rotation.
Vice. I don't blame him.
For GX to play what is behind the Vice setup this time as well. So there is further layers to this, and Walanoob has to TP in, actually. It's not out. He's now stuck in the corner and spammed within an inch of his life. So no entry Na'Vi, no duelist, and they're forced to call the play.
Yeah, they've seen that before. The adaptation spot on. Still a little bit of stall. Navi not comfortable with the position they have on site.
Shao up close, looking for the duel, can't find it. Runner responding as GX are in tow. A second round now prepared as they've managed to do exactly what was required of them. From the timeout, the read is spot on. Na'Vi getting away with murder on many of these rounds.
30 seconds left.
But finally the madness put to an end. And so Roxic left to stew in what is left of this poorly executed A-site hit.
I mean, both
But the
of
thing
the
is, like,
rounds.
it's poorly
Both
executed
back-to-back of
A-site hit,
import.
but it's also nice adaptations from GX
10
overall.
seconds left.
I don't know if it was Pipson who called that, but like we had seen before that Navi like to go through mid and towards art, and we saw Koala do that TP before, who had caught a player off guard. This time there was utility to depend upon. Like, I don't think necessarily, like, sure, maybe Navi didn't execute to the full potential, but I also think GX had nice adaptations that's obviously been called from their timeout.
Sticking to their guns, confident in the way that they're playing a lot of these rounds from the defender's side. As I mentioned, the reads have been there.
Okay,
It's
so
just how
Na'Vi
you then
have
try
the
and set that up. And when you look at
3-person
Cloud as the caller for this
low
team,
minus.
his transition to
3 guns,
IGL
2
during
to
stage
get.
2 of last year as that Redgar
Right?
replacement, you always want him to be someone who can help enable individuals.
Kinda.
As someone who was
I
previously
mean, they can
the
still
star
get a pretty
player
good buy
of
here. He
this
hasn't bought
team.
util yet.
Someone so consistent, the cornerstone of it. And putting those building blocks together the same way that you would want from Angel and Shao on the other side, with the experience that both of those two have as consistent pieces that had made international
It's
events
gonna
before.
be a timeout set.
Maybe we're not quite seeing
Talk
the same
about door,
kind of
surely.
drip down in
We
terms
just
of
haven't seen anything over towards
experience
door
there
yet.
with the rest of the squad.
Either that or they want to force over towards
I mean,
A main
as
again.
well, though, like, obviously Navi wanting to talk about like the adaptations that Navi have made. And this is an interesting one.
It's not every day you see 2 timeouts back to back.
It's not even that though, right? Giant X.
Wait, they both called their
call a
timeout at the same
just as
time?
The bonus is starting to happen on Fracture.
Does
Not every day we
does
see
give you
that,
an
right?
indication of how
Then
scrappy
we
it's
go into
been.
this map, we're like, yeah, okay, Navi timeout, ready to go out. And then GX call a timeout. It's not every day we
A
see
lot of
that. I
stuff
don't
that
think
both
it's
the
not
teams
every
can
day that
clean
we
up.
see what Giant X are doing, right?
Something along those lines, yeah.
You get the point I'm trying to make?
Sort of, like GX, I think, why would you even use 2 timeouts in this first half when the one that you just called seemed to be the ace up the sleeve that's actually set them up perfectly, like just reinforcing everything that they had already set up for themselves. But that makes things interesting, because by the time we get to the second half, Na'Vi still with a timeout left to play around with, and GX, you know, happily feeling that this one is left on their own terms and conditions, left to their own devices, and
first time
without
we've
Pipson,
seen
and that's
Pipson
kind of
not
what
have
we're seeing
anything
in
to
this
talk
timeout
about.
as well. Very quiet. Seems to be Cloud
it all out in the
actually
first
calling for this one more
minute
than
and a
anyone
half.
else.
And I like that though, right? Like, there's obviously like a conversation happening back and forth, whereas like in previous timeouts, what we had seen is Pipson being the one who was very vocal just from the cameras and
How
what we could
all
tell.
on
Obviously, we
defense.
don't know what's being said. At the same time, though,
Okay, you
got to be
pretty
thinking
much
about the
can't
end to
aggro
this half.
this.
How can GX
They might just
find a
try and
lifeline
take
into the next
middle.
half, and also how can they make do or make like
I'm trying to
actually
think
get
where
some
you
value from this
do the
autumn
tail
cycle
on this map
they're
is
about to
actually
come
kind of
into.
sick.
The previous
Like
one
everywhere.
only adding
Came
fuel to the
Amos, thank you so much for the
Na'Vi
prime, dude. Appreciate the whole year. Thank you for that, mate.
Ice bucket dropped from GX from the timeout, prepared from the
Oh.
sidelines by the coach, but with Purpo dropping here, Na'Vi have the man advantage, and this is a conversation we consistently come back to. GX failing to convert from 4v5s, one of the worst in VCT EMEA when it comes to that statistic. They've been offered more support from Tomasi's position, deep B right now, but yet to make a big call, a large rotation, and Angel is aware of this.
Making sure to identify the players that we're in main. Actually, this could be a red herring, just catches at the last second run up. NAVI, no.
Guys have been good with this though. The drone every single time.
And another
but
round
like,
where NAVI find themselves right in the belly of the beast, and you have
do they do
absolutely
anything
no idea
with the info that no one is following this up
Angel already using the
all the
drone
time.
means that he is relying solely upon
30 seconds left.
his recon
if
arrow
Tomasi
here
hits
to
it.
clear out Tomasi, or even just a jump spot, as the operator has finally been revealed. Fighting a war on both fronts. The players have already
Mate,
made
someone
it
tell
out
him
from
about
elbow.
what's going on site.
That engagement on long is what GX were hoping for. Now Cloud is the only one
He's
to
getting
hold on
heavy
towards
pinch from
backside.
sight.
The
Cloud's
Armageddon
doing good.
used
You got
to
10
keep
seconds
him
to plant.
protected.
See, they're trying to plant out in the
But now
open.
he has to
5
clutch
seconds.
up.
Has to
There
stick
to
it.
be
Low
an
HP.
ace clutch,
No
which does
way.
not work out in his
How did I
favour.
get away with this one?
NAVI
This
are
was nice
pushing
from
us
NAVI though.
forward
Like
further
actual.
and further.
This was like an actual
That
better
recon
default
as
from what
well
they've been
from
doing.
Cloud was working overtime. Koala Noob TP'd
Even though the
into
time was like
that,
really long,
second
it was a
pulse,
lot better. Like actual.
and ended up finding himself revealed by it. And this read here, just from seeing the
That's
star
only taken
placed
everywhere on the
top of
map, really.
box, feels like a big tell. NAVI off the back of the 120-second timeout are the ones which come out the better, and now be looking to build up this game plan in the last couple of rounds with the ults that they hold on to.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, the fact that GX have used both timeouts.
Surely we
in the
don't let
first
this
half,
clone
and
trigger the
one of them
wall
was
again.
After the one that NAVI had used. Well, with that being said,
Oh, I got
straight
shot.
into the B site.
Guns out, rifles in hand for the GX players, needing to win this one if they want to see any more of that as the final round of the half
Yeah,
comes up.
nicely
It's
done
straight
from West
inside the
side.
site beyond the wall. West side still in the corner, but in terms of utility to flush him out, well, Shao's without salvos, so there's really little to bank upon here. Tomasi with yet another kill that just pushes that boat out further as Roxic tries to reintroduce himself. It's a flash Shao in the corner.
Yeah, this is much
that will
better
fall
from Giants in
flat
terms of
on
actually
his
being able
feet
to
as
shoot the
GX
clone as
close
well.
the gap again.
Kind of heavy shot. It
I mean, NAVI have been doing
really
so
all
well
came down to
towards
the
A
West
that
side
they've
duel
tried
though,
to,
over towards
try
site.
abuse the B side a little bit more.
Yeah, but this was like a great
Just
example of like
just a
actually
small
just
thing that I
showing
wanted to
how
know, and
much
it's a criticism on GX
breaking
to
the
say, even though they won
clone and
round,
keeping the wall
they
up,
did
like
well,
how,
yeah, that's great,
how
but
easy life
I
is
saw
with that.
Tomasi use both flashes,
They really
one
got to
after
try
the
and
other, and there was
prioritize,
no
or like
peaks
they
off the
really
back of
needed
as
to
well,
try
just
prioritize it more.
as something else to note, right? For,
Then they
for
just had
future
the one
rounds, whether
isolated on
that's
side,
gonna
they could get the
continue,
rotate in.
But, hey, listen, all in all,
No one
good
else
from
could get
GX.
through here.
Yeah,
Like
3-8.
it's something that
I also think
NAVI were
Tomasi's
getting
utility
success
has actually
doing all
looked
the
fairly
time, was
supportive
just
so far.
breaking
We'll
the
have to
wall
see if
with
he can
that
set up more
clone.
here. You can see back of art, op in hand, players peeking in with the recon broken. This would have been his chance, but
Coordination
Runner
was
just disposed
well,
of. Means it's
coordination,
another
communication, I'm not sure
4
which was
versus
off here.
5 for GX from
The op
Art.
on
This
scopes.
time they want to fight into middle, and with Cloud's ult teed up, it's a purpo double
Yeah, they got
this
4
time.
at the end,
Back from
right?
the
Unless
dead,
something crazy
dishing
goes
out
here, they can
damage.
just retake
3
together with
versus
Astral, they
2.
can just group as 3.
What did NAVI do to try and recover this? Plenty of utility. Angel's only used his dart, right? So this can easily come back up.
And with Westside dead here as well, you look at all of the Vice utility having no value. It's down, which means B is open. This feels like a pretty straightforward call to make if you're Na'Vi.
I agree. How does the post plant look, right? With both players having utility that can stall out. Do you play on the site? Do you look for a pick before you plant it? I mean, GX are nowhere near that side of the map.
Gotta get a good plant against
Angel's drone,
Astral.
you could take a step
Can't be
further,
plant
but I
here.
feel like Na'Vi right now
30 seconds
just trying to
left.
get
Oh, I'm not sure
a
about
bit more
this.
comfort about the situation. There's no player yet to go and hunt. Angel will be the one to do it. Risk adverse at times.
Cloud is on his own.
Up close. As the spray comes in, it's a brilliant bait. Angel with the first of those, and Xiao following it up.
It's now a 2v2. This is winnable now for Navi. Consider the utility they have.
Angel's managed to get out from the divide though, so already this reposition could be
They
deadly.
heard him.
Dropping in
I'm
as
so
Samasi and
confused,
Xiao
man.
picking up the
Why did
pieces,
he go?
supported by
Why did
his
they all
captain.
split up?
He signs off on further Navi success.
And then why they
9-3
lurk when they got an
half, which
Astral?
has GX just about hanging in there, but almost dead and buried.
Again, not to bring the statistic up.
And then he
once
astraled
again,
himself
but
off.
we have seen GX struggle
But with
on
the space
attack.
they've taken, they
That's
had
the
him
side
running.
that they're going to be having to move to. We'll see if they can do good on that on the other side.
I mean, the shots are lovely from Xiao. I like genuinely concerned watching this round. Dude, EMEA just, I really think EMEA struggle on Pearl, man. I think it's been happening for years. It feels like no one in EMEA has like someone good in practice to like show everyone how to play. Foot is good on Pearl. Foot have some nice combos on Pearl, yeah. Foot is probably the best EMEA team on Pearl. Foot and BBL, it's probably like the best we have. That's it. Everything else just looks like such a struggle when I watch teams. But I've spoken about this ever since like 2022 or whatever it is. Like, it's been a constant thing that they're just not... Oh my goodness. Hold on, chat. It's been a constant thing that they're just not, like, not good at it, I feel like. What is wrong with the Astral Wall like this? It's not...
Welcome back.
Well,
Na'Vi putting their foot down on their opponent's
it just didn't...
pick.
Okay, so normally what should happen with the Astral is they all stick together and then they block it off and then they can clear side together.
The very first series
then they went, instead of going
as
as a 3 unit, they decided to go 1-1-1.
And instead, it's,
and so this one ended up dying.
It's another one
and then it's a 1-1 where you're both
pistol
split.
round
But then they took this space, so when you divided it by half, this guy, they can then hear this guy running.
So there you go.
It just didn't make
They're in
sense.
a similar position here where
They somehow gave the two. Like somehow Navi ended up getting all of the duels together.
How dangerous of a team they can be. All of the
It was just how they played it. The wall wasn't necessarily bad. Like, I would be okay with this wall if they, well, would want that wall obviously, but I'd be okay with this wall if they actually
need to try and find a way to
went as a
inspire
3
us
together.
yet again, as they did in the previous series.
It's not to say there hasn't been improvements, right? We've been seeing it consistently. I mean, this trap set up by Navi for mid, and you're looking at Westside being that potential player to actually run into that.
He's saying that Pearl is the way to beat EMEA teams.
Contact here to notify
some of them, most of
Navi
them.
about the potential players coming through.
I feel like the EMEA Pearl win record on LAN can't be good, so that's what I'm saying. On international, I can't imagine EMEA win many Pearls.
A little more heavily as the A side offensive is starting to come through. Hero with another opening pick. Na'Vi in a great position. Already got a couple of bodies backside, and while Purpo has managed to find one on the fadeaway, now Westside starts to get into position from Art.
Hoping he activates soon though, and when he does come in, it's Navi who get the pick.
Westside with one, Koala Noob another. Still 3-on-3 and the team's feeling slightly inseparable. Na'Vi continuing to backfill the space as they have so much support. This network backside means the spike can't go down until more blood is spilled, and it's GX's own, which is gonna hit the canvas. Bloodied and bruised once again. Westside doesn't have the time or the tools. A couple of players from the pit. He'll find the first of those, but Angel's
this is
on
gonna be
the
a short
scene.
one on this one.
Double digits for Na'Vi as they get their 3rd pistol in this series and the 2nd of this map.
Yeah, that round though, like, you see like the util dump happening as the execute comes in. That's cool, we expect that to be the case. But from there, it just becomes a death match between both teams, and nobody wants to do anything different rather than take an engagement.
Something as well mentioned on the Na'Vi podcast, if you can tolerate listening to some Marcus for
Guys,
25
it's 10-3. They got the spike down. Please buy more.
Love you,
Oh, boy.
Marcus. is these you know, mid rounds as well, and knowing when to engage, when to re-engage. It didn't feel like there was much utility there, and I know it's a pistol. Man, you're really on Marcus Hayward. You're finding that way too funny.
Oh yeah, they didn't
Oh,
plant.
man,
That's
don't
true,
wanna
they
talk
didn't
about it.
plant.
Listen,
And
well, we should
honestly,
talk about
maybe I don't
A-side
mind
take,
that.
right? Players from NAVI very
Well,
happy
I
to
don't
give up
I
this
don't like
side
this in
to
general
GX.
anyway, but
And at the same time, like, you can see that they've got Kuala who was just checking extra angles up on B, but the GX have pushed forwards.
They certainly have. Hero fighting 2 with his Ghost. Where are the guns in GX's hands? This force felt necessary, and it's finding the value. Dropping back to the support in main, it's a long road that Na'Vi have to walk to win this one.
You have the Outlaw, but with Hero being
Jesus.
so low,
What?
and Angel managing to make the Stinger work at close, wrong range.
Felt like a butterfly sting,
Time.
more like a stinger. Angel able to get one more, but Hero now 1 versus 2. This is where the realization starts to set in. This gun is better saved more than anything else. Well,
Yeah,
they'll
they
get
managed
the
to get the
one
gun
onto
out of
West
them.
Side as he tries to walk away.
Well,
Purpo with the play that
3 gone by on
secures that
defense
4th round for
doesn't
Giant X.
pay off again.
I mean, but this is
Dude,
the,
I can't believe we
another
found the
round,
2
right,
teams
an
that love
anti-equal, where
love to do the
Navi
FPX
have
buy on
lost
defense
again,
still.
right? Twice against Apex, once against Fnatic.
Cafe Bleach with the tier 1, pretty sure
before.
the 23 months.
Like, this is an issue that could start to become chronic. The fact that they're not managing these rounds correctly.
It has looked cagey since the
Yes.
pistol. It's more of the same, and it's what I was talking about before. You can see here, Giant X, only a 33% first blood
Dude, these stats are
success rate.
savage.
Third of the time you're going to see them go a player in front after that first engagement.
I think that was something that was happening a lot on the defense. They were giving away the first blood, and Navi were doing well to steamroll that into a round win. This time round, being a lot more reserved. And look at the space.
Off the timing
Navi
of the
have been
flash,
able
they
to
take
grab
the
him mid
space.
after that was used.
Yeah,
freebie.
but look at Westside. He is effectively the turret here. They don't have a killjoy, but it's fine because the gun in his hands is unleashing lead to the players in the Scuba shop.
Reading the map wrong, getting the players wrong in position.
Well, they're dead now.
Yeah, that's true. At the same time, though, Shao has found himself hiding behind the box. But GX not going towards this side of the map, heading towards B.
Vice Wall at their backs. 3 players strong in terms of the man count. About to be able to leverage 4 over the head of Angel. He spots. Quick face check. Falling back onto a deeper line of cover. Nice shot from Angel. We all remember the Na'Vi Sheriffs. They've always been a strong suit. How many more of those do we end up with? It's only Angel holding on to one right now, but the stall has been fantastic, and now players in position. 15 seconds and things get worrying.
Yeah, that is when things get worrying, because if you can deny the spike, you can deny the round. That's not the case at all. It's the Bulldog.
It got kinda
but
close,
Roxic
though.
was getting the value, instead
Yeah, they keep 2
denied.
guns.
There will be 5 to 10, half of what the rounds that Navi have. For me, though, moving forward, I mean, this is the biggest round, right? Stopping Navi getting 11.
11 rounds felt like a curse before. That's how Shao said it.
Nice!
Bringing in the performance coach, Zuza, to help them out with that. And it's another familiar situation here on the
5-2,
defender
we
side
got
as well. It feels like it's so
Vice
hard
or
sometimes to
wants to go
set up
aggro
that
A
plan
on the
that
defense.
can win the round
And
for
then
you.
Giants are in a position with a lot of people here
Something
to
which they've
try
also been
punish this.
focusing on as well quite heavily as
Smoke,
protocols
smoke,
and
TP
already
in,
as A main
salvo
is
deep.
taken, they do not disengage
Looks like
fully.
they took the TP a little
It's Angel
early.
following it up with a rifle in his hands this time. Numbers Na'Vi, but how much longer can he live on this box?
I mean, this 2v2 and A main is going to be massive. West side still to come in late through Art. But
Oh
it's
my,
how
what a
long
shock
can
that
GX
is.
hold on to this side of the map?
Dude, how much
Did they
HP was
get the
he on?
first
It looked
pick?
like he
After that initial
might have
engagement,
just got the perfect amount
he
of
looked to
damage.
disengage.
Shao would have heard those steps just scurrying away as well, but
He was
just
on
feels so
63.
volatile
Oof, that's
for
nice.
position A, making sure that Roxic is clearing towards R, as his drone will do exactly that in main, just reinforcing the ideas of where these players are, and Westside is a swift check of exactly that.
A red herring though. Look at GX, they're not going towards this side of the map, and Navi are now worried about where Westside has gone.
Hero has a full Killjoy setup, the turret for lane, the alarm bot should support inside the
30
choke.
seconds left.
And with there being no gap close either towards the backside, it's all on this first duel. Hero catching Cloud in his utility, but still not capitalizing from it. The darts landed in a weird place, so it's not going to scan at all. And while Westside has been noted, Hero only getting one on the way back in. And so Shao,
I think he had to get
tasked
both.
with clutching another
Salvos
round. His
go in.
salvos can deny the plant for just
he
a moment,
double
but
them
it's
up?
repositioned and they are holding on as he makes his way back in. He will fall, and so Giant X
This has so much potential now.
Yeah,
So much potential to
I think
win
as
this.
well, like Hero's put between a rock and a hard place, has to get two, and is only able to get one. I mean, that 2 versus 1 not ideal. And now look at Navi's buy here, right? I said it was big for GX to deny 11, and it is, but it's even more important in the economy state, because right now Navi do not
Bruce has got
have
the
a buy.
info. It says EMEA are 7-14
It's a really
on
rough
par
round
across
to
all
come into, just to
internationals.
take a step back
Notably,
as well.
they went
You look at Angel and Shao
0-5 at Champs
doing a lot in
2022.
plenty of
And
these
the only
rounds to
positive
help
on
take
par
the early space
has
of
been
their
at
teams,
one
gather the
event,
info.
Champs 2023.
They hadn't missed an international event since Masters Berlin in 2021.
7-14. I
Until
mean,
last year,
we
which
said
now, including
better
kickoff,
than you
makes it
thought.
4 consecutive
Mate,
that they've not
it's
been
like
able
a
to go to, and you're looking at the
33% win
potential of
rate.
a 5th. Should
thought it was
GX
worse
win
than
what
that?
feels like such an important fixture between those players chasing the runaway pack of elite teams that we have in Group Alpha.
There's Tamazi. They're touching on the alarm bot. There's still no contact, no peek out into the outlaw.
Do have a Bucky on both Roxic and Koala Noob, so they are holding down lanes through the middle
No
of
way,
the
they got
map.
the scanner.
But with the gap being there of
Duck.
Shao in art,
Oh
no
boy.
real big rotation
Honestly,
has
could
been
be
called. That
huge.
Angel's still just denying with the immediate reactive
Oh,
ult
it's
and getting a
huge.
double tag on the second hit.
Yeah, this is really big chip damage. Rook's trying to
really
rush
hates
in, but
it.
gets caught by the blind side.
No, not like
It's
this
just
for
not working
Navi.
out at all.
They put so many
GX have
ults
managed
into
to find
it.
their way back in. The lockdown baiting out another player into the crosshairs of Navi. The Spike needs to stabilise this round.
Hero laid up onto yet another kill as well.
Everyone's doubling down.
Divide.
No way, bro. Oh my goodness, 7 HP runner saved them.
Too close for comfort.
This was
7 points of
incredible to
health
watch,
will
dude.
get GX the 7th.
Oh,
His
boy.
5th clutch this stage, more than any other GX player, and once again put in a situation of stress. It's Giant X that come out with the round win. You said that their attack didn't have legs, Cairo, but I think for as much as these statistics have set up teams, the counter is always a possibility with a new comp. And Tomasi animated as ever, reveling in yet another positive result.
Tomasi, he went for a really high-risk play.
That timeout. Navi
And it did not
desperately
pay off.
hanging on to theirs.
Yeah,
Well, at least the team won the round.
that's the thing, tooth and nail.
The thing is, if
they're
he
trying to
gets
hang on to
2
this
and then
one.
goes down to the molly, we call him a genius. So
You
it's
talk
always
about
a thin
setting
line,
yourself
chat.
up for success. Navi did in the last round using ultimates, right? But the ultimates didn't get the value that you're looking for, and that's now where the criticism comes in, right? Where you're thinking to yourself, now you're on your buy, you're without a Hunter's Fury and a lockdown. They would have been
Just started
massive
watching and they
pieces
playing
to
good
push you
Val.
towards these last final
Not
rounds.
really, man. No, not really.
Hero
It's,
coming into
there's
the
some
team.
nice rounds.
Plenty of promise from him as a player. Seems to have been delivered upon, at least in these last couple of maps, now sitting 20 and 14 at the top of the leaderboard. But for all of the kills from the KJ player,
Boom,
site
man.
holds have been a bit
Stop
of a
it.
struggle. GX finding a way to
Okay, they got the no armor up.
get their feet
They all in
in
on
a lot
this
of
one.
these.
Navi
Find a
really need to
foothold,
get around.
I should say.
They've kept the money kinda
Molyneux
low.
finally bringing out the op.
We got the Euro
immediately
all
pressured
into the
by the
4
Euro on
pass
the
and
opposite
splits.
side.
Looking nice with the drones over towards 8. See if it's clear as well. They spot
Excel,
one.
and it is
Tail
combat
all
combined
goes
with
in,
the
but
Armageddon.
honestly,
Forcing players
Navi
out.
were
Tomasi
kind of on
back
top of the
there,
fact they
gets the
can't play
instant
here.
kill.
Huge combination. That sets up the play. Shao's going to watch that TP cut past him, and immediately the game is up for Tomasi.
I'm pretty impressed with how
One back,
Navi played
Hero
this.
still holding holding on. 2 kills from him. Is it going to be enough? Seems
this
to be the
was-
case right
this
now.
was
And
nice,
the support
though.
from Koala Noob is surplus to requirements as Angel shut up shop. Na'Vi do respond.
Yeah, I mean, it's a round where...
It's
even
nice when
though
we see
we
teams
brought
like
up the
not
stat
play
about
that area with
first
the tail ult. The
bloods,
amount of times I see
sorry,
people playing
GX
like
actually
Pit and
get the
Hair
first
against the
blood, right?
tail
They
ult
do
like
so
this.
well, they take
Can't
the
really
side,
play
but,
there. But
I
that's
mean,
the first time I've seen a
Tomazi's
team
clear.
like be
That's
aware
good
that they
enough,
can't
and he
play
allows
these
players
areas.
to sit within the smokes.
Dude, they were together on this as well.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, again, like, it's a phrase I use a lot: dotting your I's, crossing your T's.
And like we said,
And
the
they're
rounds were
just
pretty
not
close.
paying
The
attention to the small details.
Giants have to eco it.
Once again, Koala Noob will...
Only one
Go
person played there as
searching towards
Yoru. Yeah,
A
no,
main.
it was like really nice from Na'Vi.
This is going to be huge.
That was the nice rounds we were talking about.
How they'll look to redistribute forces across the map. It feels like there is a little bit of proactivity sprinkled in there. Whenever you see that Teho player, you're expectant of it. And while we haven't seen Shao on this role too often, that drone is perfectly timed. They know where those players sit right now, and as the drone gets traded, this is when you make the play through the double door.
Yeah, but what the players are doing that? Look at
Dude,
Purple. He's sitting
wait,
waiting.
I'm looking at him on the
But
minimap and I
Navi
have
able to
no
get what
idea
they're looking
how...
for. A double kill, and it looks even
I've got to see his
worse.
POV
It's
there. You got to give me that
Navi
replay.
12 and an
Did he think
end
the
zone
no? Did he think the
flawless.
first guy was on his
That's
team?
exactly
or
the
something? I'm
rounds
so
which you were
confused. Is that
hunting
on
for
the,
if you're
is that
Na'Vi.
watching him?
Something clean,
Unless he's
something
trying to
confident.
trigger discipline
Sure, it
him, but
comes
then
up
I
against
saw him
pistols.
swing out
You
and see
put
the other
yourself
guy.
in
Looks
that
like he's trying to
position off
flick.
the back of another round win.
Could have got
Man,
insanely
you can't
unlucky,
help
I
but
guess,
feel
but
Purple's that guy that you're hoping is just going to cover you. I know he's well played by
Astral
Navi
form,
to have a
but he
player
moved down
watching
to the
towards
side
shots.
fast.
It's more
Maybe.
brilliant mid-rounding from
Okay, either way.
Angel there as well.
5
to
chances
just
for
set up the
Navi.
play.
I'm
Coming back
really
to what I
hoping
was
this map's
talking
over
about
soon.
before,
The
it's
round
those
before this,
players
though, was like the
that
nicest
all
round so far.
dynamic, deadly
The ult
duo
one.
of
Oh
sorts
my
that can do it
goodness,
all.
dude.
But here it's gone.
Holy, what a play this is.
3
That's kind of sick,
kills
though. They know
off
that
the
the
back of his
salvos
own
clear the
flash.
smokes. They
With
get
Shao
into
in
the smokes, they
support,
beat
it's
them
all
there,
over.
and then they flash
Tomasi
through. That was cool.
in the ground as it's back-to-back in-zone flawlesses.
Okay, I tell you what,
to
2
finish
of the
off
best rounds
goal
were
with
like
some style.
were right at the end
I
here.
mean, you look at the players after that flash, they're kind of scratching their heads.
Do we get a
But
split?
well
Both of
played
these
by
teams are great on
Koala Noob.
split.
Just to
So
be
that's
that
gonna be nice.
aggressive, something that we have not seen from Navi